Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Sports Medicine, offering services for sports injury and recovery, with physicians and athletic trainers who provide treatment for fractures, dislocations, sprains, strains, and other sports-related issues. More information on services at stalphonsus.org. So you can't see this, but hopefully you can hear it. Behind every Boise State Public Radio podcast is a team working hard to bring you stories that matter. So if you value podcasts like this one, please support them. Hit donate at boisestatepublicradio.org. Thanks.
It's The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Friday, June 5th. I'm Troy Oppie. Here are today's headlines. The state's Legislative Council approved ballot language for 2 constitutional amendments lawmakers are bringing to voters this fall. Opponents of Idaho's new bill blocking trans people from using the bathroom of their choice will be in federal court in Boise today. And an inmate escapes from Gooding County Jail after breaking his handcuffs. First up on this Friday, students are out of school for the summer, but districts are hard at work on final budgets for the upcoming year. As Lauren Patterson reports, Idaho could change the way schools are funded.
School funding in Idaho is based mostly on average daily attendance of students rather than overall enrollment. Jennifer Swindell is the managing editor of Idaho Education News and says policies have changed over the decades she's watched education in the state.
We have 77 charter schools in Idaho right now, and 25 years ago we had none. And so charters are choices, hybrid learning's a choice.
Swindell says the current formula isn't set up for the post-pandemic world of online learning and parents who want to homeschool part-time. And Idaho State Superintendent Debbie Critchfield agrees. She started a listening session tour that kicked off in Boise yesterday, with events planned around the state to hear from the public about the changes they want in Idaho's school funding formula. For Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Lauren Patterson.
The superintendent's tour has events planned for Idaho Falls, Coeur d'Alene, and a virtual meeting on June 25th. You can find more details on our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. Opponents of Idaho's new law blocking trans people from using the bathroom aligned with their gender identity will be in federal court in Boise today, arguing that the law is unconstitutional and should be immediately blocked from taking effect as scheduled July 1st. 6 transgender people sued May 29th over House Bill 752 in a lawsuit called Jackson Edney v. Labrador. Anyone found in violation of the law could receive up to a year in prison for a first misdemeanor conviction. A second violation would be a felony with up to 5 years possible in prison. Those are the steepest penalties of any state's law that governs bathroom use for trans people. And Idaho is, so far, the only state with a law that affects bathroom use at private businesses, not just government facilities. The case will be heard by Idaho District Judge Amanda Brailsford. Today's preliminary injunction hearing begins at 9 a.m. The Idaho Legislative Council approved ballot language for 2 constitutional amendments lawmakers are putting on the ballot this November. These are different than citizen-led initiatives. Lawmakers proposed House Joint Resolution 4, which would restrict legalization of marijuana and other narcotics or psychoactive substances to only the approval of the state legislature. This would mean citizen initiatives to legalize marijuana, like the one which may qualify for the ballot as well in November, would no longer be effective. Voters will see statements both in favor of and against the amendments, which require only a simple majority to pass. The committee of 8 Republicans and 6 Democrats pared down language yesterday that was previously suggested by the Legislative Services Office. Boise Democrat Alana Rebel thought that was a disservice to voters.
But I feel like the language drafted in the statement against was not the current version that was just circulated is not reflective, it sounds like, of the public input received, and the earlier version was much more reflective.
Republicans disagreed, and more simple ballot language for both statements for and against HJR 4 was approved. House Joint Resolution 6 would make English the official language of the state of Idaho. Practically, that would make all government announcements, school instruction, and public acts, except when required by federal law, English only in Idaho. Voters in November will also see an advisory question on the ballot: which gun should be the official state gun, with a list of 6 options. Voter results for that question would be non-binding if lawmakers later decide to designate a state gun. Boise police are investigating what they're calling an accidental shooting involving a 17-year-old boy in downtown Thursday morning. Police say they witnessed the teen exit a vehicle with a weapon near 9th and Front around 2 a.m. Thursday and then run into a parking garage. As officers followed, they say they heard a gunshot and later came upon the boy, who had a gunshot wound to the leg and said he accidentally shot himself while running. He was transported to a hospital with what police say appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. He faces alcohol and curfew violation charges. A minor found in the car that the teen exited was also cited for alcohol violations, and additional charges are possible as the investigation proceeds. In Gooding, the county sheriff confirmed an inmate briefly escaped custody from the local jail Wednesday night after breaking the chain on his handcuffs. The Times News reports the suspect, Cesar Ramirez Delgado of Jerome, activated the fire sprinklers in his cell and was removed from holding while firefighters came to deactivate the system. During that time, Delgado broke his handcuffs and left the jail. The Times News reports a canine unit found him about an hour later hiding under a car 2 blocks from the Gooding jail. Fire crews working the Summit Creek fire in Cassia County continue to make good progress despite very difficult terrain, according to the Sawtooth National Forest. The fire area now just shy of 2,000 acres as of yesterday and 85% contained. Full containment is expected by Sunday. Boise County has become the first in Idaho this year to enact a burn ban. County commissioners approved restrictions on open burning Monday this week, they say due to recent wildfire activity and increasing fire risk. The county says campfires in approved fire structures are still permitted, and anyone with a burn permit issued prior to June 2nd can still use it within 10 days of its issue date. New burn permits in Boise County will no longer be available. A bat has tested positive for rabies in North Idaho's Latah County. There are typically more than a dozen confirmed rabid bats found each year in Idaho. Health officials in a news release announcing the find encourage people to take preventative steps by getting pets and horses vaccinated for rabies, to block off potential bat nesting areas in homes and barns, and never handle a bat with bare hands. Rabies in humans is rare, but is almost always fatal if not treated quickly after potential exposure before the onset of symptoms. In sports, AC Boise is in Spokane tomorrow for a USL Cup match against the Velocity. Boise and Spokane tied at 1 in the team's first ever home match in April. More recent defensive struggles have kept Boise out of the win column, some of that likely related to an injury to defender Jake Dengler. The Idaho Statesman reports Boise hopes to get Dengler back in about a week and is on the verge of signing a former USL player, Joshua Yarrow, to help. But that signing process has dragged out for weeks with paperwork delays. Coach Nate Miller called those extremely frustrating. Saturday's game in Spokane starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. The stream is on subscription channel ESPN+. And the Boise Hawks improved to 10-5 on the season with a win at Missoula yesterday. The Hawks took 2 of 3 games against the Paddleheads and are now in Billings for a 3-game series before returning home to Boise again starting Tuesday for the first of what will be 12 straight games against Idaho Falls. That's your connector on this Friday. Stay in touch with the news between now and our next episode at our website, boisestatepublicradio.org. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram. Search Boise State Public Radio and download our free app for your smartphone to listen on the go to our live streams and our news content as well. I'm Troy Oppie. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day and a great weekend.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.